All right, welcome you guys. I am so excited you're here. We have had 2 weeks so far of powerful placement strategies. And what we've done is we've gone through the basics of a lot of the compensation plan. And a lot of people wonder, okay, why did we have to go through that? Why did we have to understand that? Part of the reason for that is because there are a lot of implications with placements that you won't understand if you don't understand some of those pieces of the comp plan. So one of the things I told you I was going to do today is go over dynamic compression, but I'm not going to cover that today. I'm going to do that at the beginning of next week because I want to be able to get straight to the point. And hey, Roger, can you give me my list of the items that we were going to cover? I'm going to show you guys. It's on that. No, it's on that piece of paper. That other one. That's the detailed. I need the basic. Okay, what I want to do is I want to outline it for you guys so that you know exactly what we're going to cover today. Number 1, we are going to talk about how you qualify to hit rank. Okay, the second thing we're going to talk about today is how the M1 account works. Don't worry, I'm going to try to go through these quickly. Works. Now, some of you are already going, Kate, why are we covering this stuff when this is supposed to be about placements? I'll tell you why. Because if you don't understand how your M1 account works when you start moving to that point, and some of you are going, dude, I'm not even interested in going that far, that's fine. But if we plan for all the things that could possibly happen, your placements are going to be set 95% better, okay? Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set you up for a success no matter how far you wanna go. So it doesn't matter if you ever wanna go to your M1 account or you only wanna go to silver. If you just want to stop at silver, guess what? All the things I'm teaching you will work either way. But the reason I cover some of this stuff is because I've talked to you before about how there are so many people out there teaching different placement strategies. And like I said, a lot of those placement strategies are things that might be good in a certain situation, but you may not want to do it every time. So if you guys understand these kinds of things, then when I make a blanket statement and say, well, in this situation, you don't want to do that, or in this situation, you might want to do that, you won't understand why. You'll go, well, I don't, it doesn't matter. So-and-so says to do it this way. So-and-so says to do it this way. I don't care what way you do it. I just want you to be maximized for success. So I want to make sure you understand if you make that choice in this situation, then you are going to have these positive and negative consequences. Okay. So, but let me reiterate, I think I said this before the recording started. What is going to happen is I'm going to stop at half hour after the hour. So at 7:30 Mountain Standard Time, I am stopping whatever I'm talking about, and we are going directly into placements. Whatever I didn't finish about this stuff, we'll do it at the beginning of next week because I need to make sure that you guys know how to place, okay? I saw one of the comments from one of you guys, I can't remember who, you said, now I don't know what to do. I see all these different things, but I've got somebody I need to place, and I'm kind of looking at my team going, where do I put them? So hopefully by the end of today, you'll have some answers to that. Okay, number 3, we're going to talk about what are people teaching? What are the different strategies for placements that people are teaching? And I'll teach you the pros and cons of each of those. Then we are going to talk about the width or depth, which is better. Are you building for width or depth? Okay. And number 5, the biggest mistakes that people make. There are actually 11 that make all the difference in the world. And even if you just know the answers to those mistakes, like no, don't do this, then you'll have an 80% better chance knowing how to place and where to place.
Briefly tell people what an M1 account is. Really quick.
They're wondering. Okay. M1 account is if you are Presidential Diamond already, then you get to do it again if you want to go for double Presidential. Okay. So an M1 account, and I'll show you what that is. And this part will be very quick, but for those of you who didn't know, now that you understand that, that's why I said some of you are going, hello, why are you going to talk about that? Well, I don't care about that. I only am trying to hit elite, okay? So, but the reason we need to is because when you understand these things, you'll start to understand why I say do this, don't do this in placements. Okay. Now, some of the people who are training some of these things about placements, they haven't gone for their M1 account yet. So they might not understand how what they're doing has implications for even further down the road. All right. So, and the very last thing we're going to talk about, but I'm starting at the half hour, is how to place. Okay. So you guys are all, finally, you're getting to how to place after all these weeks. Okay. How to place. Now, I'll put a star because that's the most important thing. Now, before I go on to that, I do want to answer a few, I'm going to forget where I put that. I want to answer a few of I'm going to clarify a few things and answer a few questions that we got last week. We have decided we cannot do this without Roger here with me because he monitors the questions. That way, if I'm teaching something right now and I misspeak or I need to clarify something, I don't know if somebody's not there telling me. So that will help a ton. You need something, Roger? Okay. So these are the qualifying things I need to say. I made a huge mistake last week, and I have to apologize. I am so sorry. And there were a group of you, I think they were all a group of women who were responding to some questions and answers about Power of Three. And I am so grateful to you guys because I didn't see it and I didn't catch it until I saw your questions. And I went back and looked through and saw that I had misspoken, and it was a big one. Okay, so, and I repeated it over and over in the training. I am so sorry. So let me clarify. It was about the Power of Three. In the last video, I kept saying for the Power of Three, in order for you to get that structural bonus, in fact, I'll just write it for a second, just to remind those of you who are new. If you're trying to get your Power of Three, if you're 3 people on your front line, you're trying to get the $50 bonus. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch the last video. But just realize I kept saying that you do have to have the enrollership of these 3 people. That is not true. You have to have the sponsorship. They have to be underneath you, and they have to be on your front line. Okay? All the volume on your front line counts one way. All the volume on your second level counts another way. Okay? This is another thing that I want to talk about this. A lot of people don't understand, and I'll just do it with one leg. Obviously, you've got 3 legs that are duplicating, but let's say we've got 3 here, and 3 here. What a lot of people don't understand is the way the computer configures this and figures it out. The computer doesn't go, oh, let's pretend like this one, if this one is full, it would have all these, okay? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then if all of these were full like this, I'll say this one's full, this one's full, you would have your $1,500 bonus right here. This would be $1,500. But the computer doesn't go, oh, let me see if this is full. It's full. Oh, now I get the $1,500. What the computer is going to do is it only figures out by $50 increments. So for example, the computer goes, is this $50 bonus intact? Yes, it is. Then you get the $50 bonus. But now it doesn't go, okay, is the $250 bonus intact? What the computer does is it says, now is this $50 bonus intact? Is this $50 bonus intact? Is this $50? It only figures it out by $50 increments. Why does that matter to you? I will show you why. Because if you're trying to hit the Power of Three, and let's say you're $25 short somewhere, if you understand this, you don't think, let's say you're $25 short on this level right here. So you've done 150. This person did 125. This did 150. Sorry, 150, 150, 150. Oh, 125. Let's say I'm gonna do it like this. 125. Okay. So what happens is if this person did 150, 150. If the computer's looking and saying, hey, is this $50 bonus in place? 150, 150, 150, 125, uh-oh, it needs 600, so we're $25 short. This one is short. Well, we might say, oh, well, guess what? We better hurry up and buy something here. That's not going to show you my point. Hold on, let me change this. This one's 150. This one's 125. Okay? What's going to happen is if these are all in place, we need a $25 purchase right here, and we need a $25 purchase right here. But sometimes the way it works is, if you know this, the way the computer figures it out, sometimes you might, if you need the $25 right here, if that was where you needed it, what would happen is you need this $50 bonus and you need this $50 bonus, and there's $25 short in this one and this one. You could buy the $25 on this one, and it actually takes care of this one and this one. See what I'm saying? So this one is obvious, but there are times when you're figuring that out when it wouldn't be so obvious. But if you understand that, you can go, oh my goodness, instead of buying $150 in different places, if I do it all right here, that might solve the whole problem. Okay, so that's kind of helpful to know. Now let's see, what's the next one? The next one, oh, the questions. Let me see. Okay, where your M1 account goes. Again, this is, I'll just be quick, but you need to know this for, okay, just a sec. I gotta tell Roger something real quick. Okay, just needed a little something. All right, where your M1 account goes. If this is me and I have hit presidential, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 platinums like this, okay? I've got 6 platinums, I'm presidential. Now I can start another leg. Normally it is illegal for you to have ownership in 2 accounts or any benefits from 2 separate accounts until you hit presidential diamond. Once you hit presidential diamond, now you get to do it again. But Justin is my upline. Justin is up here. I don't have to now start another leg over here. This is Teresa and Roger. I don't have to now go, okay, Roger and Teresa have a spot right here, straight to him. That is not how it works. What happens is your M1 account goes here. And it's called M. M stands for multiplier, because it's a multiplier. You're going to be multiplying your team. And so this is your M1. If this spot hits presidential diamond, then I want to do it again. My M2 would go underneath here. And I can do that as many times as I want. Now, what happens is, now I can legally do this. And one more thing that's helpful to know about this that can matter with placements is that if all of these are presidential diamond, and let's say I'm presidential over here. So I've got 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And all of these presidential are platinum. Sorry, if all of these are platinum. If all of these are platinum, all of these are platinum, then what happens if this one all of a sudden doesn't hit platinum that month? If this one doesn't hit, the beautiful thing that doTERRA has done for us is they set it up so that the computer just grabs one of these platinums, counts it for this presidential diamond, but you didn't hit double presidential because that platinum wasn't there. Okay, what's going to happen is, and then if this person hits platinum again next month, then, and all these hit platinum, then the computer counts this one toward this presidential diamond. It's awesome because you guys, can you imagine trying to keep track of all that and going, oh no, this one didn't even hit presidential diamond, so now it wouldn't count because I can't have a second spot. It would be a mess. So doTERRA just has the computer configure it. If you're presidential diamond here and you've got some stuff going on here, one of these legs might have to qualify this leg one time, okay? So we're not going to go into that more, but you see how it starts to get complicated. You see how some of the placement implications can matter for later. Now, I'll tell you one last thing about this. The beautiful thing about this is when you have an M1, the reason they call it a multiplier account is because guess what? You're not just getting paid for this spot and for this spot. You get paid way more than that. What happens is I'm getting paid as a presidential diamond. Let's say I'm making $150,000 a month, or 110, that's the average. $110,000 as a presidential diamond. Now this leg hits presidential diamond. This spot is making $110,000 a month. Let's say that this spot would normally, at the same size, make $110,000 a month as a presidential diamond. So if this one was making 110, this spot will make 110. But guess what? this spot is going to make way more, because not only are they going to get paid on all their 6 legs, now they get paid twice on this leg, because Roger and I are already getting paid for all of this presidential diamond, but this spot is also now getting paid on all of that stuff. So now we get paid twice for that stuff. So that's huge. All right. And don't worry if you get it, but you couldn't explain it. This is just so you start to understand there are so many implications for placements. Let me make sure. If someone upgrades after 90 days, do they have to stay in the enrollership tree? We talked about enrollers and sponsors, and that you'll have 14 days to move them. So if you have questions about that, go back to watch the other video, but I will tell you this. If someone upgrades after 90 days, so I've got people on my team, we've got stuff going on here, wherever. If this person down here is a wholesale customer, they're a wholesale customer, and they decide to upgrade after 90 days, then they have to stay in the enrollership tree. So if this person enrolled them, if this person enrolled here, and this person enrolled this person, and I enrolled this person, if that's how that enrollership tree goes, this wholesale customer who upgrades, if this person wants to put them somewhere, they have to keep them in this enrollership tree. None of these matter, because this is the person who enrolled them. What if I enrolled this person down here? If I enrolled this person has to stay in the enrollership tree, which is now no longer any of those people. So that means I can take this person because I'm the enroller, and I can put this person anywhere I want in my entire team. Okay, let's see. Wholesale customer versus wellness advocate. Oh, this is something I didn't realize was getting confusing on the video last week. This is what happened. I said when you're a wholesale customer, if you're a wholesale customer, nobody can go underneath you. Okay, and then later in the video I was saying, I would say if this person is on your front line and they're a wellness if they're a customer, and I put a C, I said you could put somebody under there. I was talking like that. Let me explain what happens. If they're a wholesale customer, they are only a customer. They only can buy, you can't put anyone under them. But if they are a wellness advocate, and this is what I didn't clarify, if they're a wellness advocate, then they can be a builder, they can be a sharer, they can be a customer. They can enroll as a wellness advocate and never do the business, not want to do anything. So when I'm talking about a customer, I'll try to specify when I say that. But when I talk about putting someone under a customer, number one, normally you wouldn't. But if I'm saying you put someone under there, it's because they're enrolled as a wellness advocate, they're just not building. So to clarify that, and I apologize for the confusion that caused. There's one more. I still kept getting a lot of questions about how if people are, thanks Raj, he's keeping track of the time for me. If let's say I invited someone and I don't want to build the business, I said you still give them the enrollership. But a lot of people kept asking, what if somebody enrolls and let me just do a clean slate. What if somebody enrolls? Here's me. I've got Sarah on my front line, and Sarah has the class. We kind of talked about that, and all the 5 people enroll. But Sarah does not want to do the 100 points a month. What if she enrolls as a wellness advocate and she doesn't want to do the 100 points a month, so she's not going to get the benefit? If all these people are enrolled to her, is she going to get the enroller? Is she going to get the fast start bonus? No, because she's not doing her 100 points a month. So they were asking, what about that? I still absolutely feel, and of course, do whatever you want. I'm just talking about, I try to say pros and cons, but I am so adamant about this one because it's about integrity, you guys. And people will say, no, it's not integrity because you're doing all the work. You would never have brought that person on. You never would have if it wasn't for Sarah. And again, I will just remind you of this because that's a strong it's a strong argument to say, well, she's not going to get that benefit. She's not doing the work. But guess what? Let's say Sarah a year from now. So I take all these enrollerships of these 5 people, which, by the way, I didn't need because I could have, if she has enrollership, I'm still going to get 10%. Sarah would get 20% of the Fast Start. I would get 10. Okay. Now, what happens if a year later Sarah decides to build? We said we're going to have 5. So let's say we had 5. If I took these enrollerships from Sarah and a year later she decides to build, and let's say this person, I kept the enrollership of all of them. So this person is my big leg. They're huge and it's my qualifying leg because Sarah didn't build. Well, Sarah starts to build. I have all these enrollerships. Now, do I need those? No, I don't need them. Will Sarah need them? Yeah, she'll need them. And when she starts to understand what I did, what do you think she's going to feel? What would you feel? I want you to think truly, what would you feel? Because if you're telling yourself, I wouldn't care because I wasn't doing the work, that is absolutely not true. And I've seen it happen 100,000, probably, well, maybe not 1,000, but hundreds of times, you guys. This person is so offended. Sometimes they want to move off that team because they realize what the person did. Now,
but let's clear that up because, sorry to interject here, but a lot of times Sarah will sign up as a wholesale customer because she has said, I don't want to do this, so you cannot place anyone under her. If she's a wholesale customer, then what?
Yes, so she's, and we did talk about that in the last video, so you can review that, but I will just, since it sounds like we need to clarify, if, let's just pretend Sarah, let's do Katie over here so we don't get mixed up. Katie is a wholesale customer, and she had 6 people sign up from her class. You cannot put them under her. And I talked to you last video about having that conversation, trying to help her understand the value of doing this. And guess what? If Sarah's going to get a paycheck if she does 100 points, do you think that she might be willing to do that? Yeah, usually they will. So to me, it's not about, oh, let's do it because we can talk her into doing the 100 points. It's about what's integrity. Who brought that person in? Who invited them? Now, remember, I will say this because it's super important. Let me finish this one thought and then don't forget your question. So if she has all the enrollerships, but this person wants to build, do you remember how I talked to you about the conversation you have with Sarah? I say, Sarah, hey, I have a business proposition because this isn't, Sarah, you should give me this one because it's not mine. It's like I'm trying to buy her business from her. You need to look at it that way. This is hers. So I go to her and say, hey, I have a business proposition for you. I can build under this person, or I need to start a new leg. I would need to have enrollership. How about if we make a business arrangement where you give me enrollership of this person, I will build it. You'll get the benefit of that. You'll get the paychecks from it, but that will be my qualifying leg. So make a business arrangement with that person. What was your question, Rod?
A lot of people have asked, well, how do you give people like the Fast Start bonus if they're a wholesale customer and they can't get placed under them? How do you give them the money but keep the enrollership because they can't go underneath them?
That's a really good question. Number one, if they want, and this might sound like a little bit opposite of what I just said, but I'll tell you what, I will have a very clear conversation with Sarah. If Sarah is not willing to do Wellness Advocate, even knowing that she's going to miss out on all those commissions, then I don't worry about it. I'm not going to try to give her that money. If there's some reason where I feel like I'd like to, or I just want to be kind and generous, do not do it as a rule, because now what you're doing is the little bit they have to do to receive that benefit, they're not willing to do that. That's fine, as long as you've been really clear and not tried to do it in a way so they really won't do it because you kind of want those enrollerships. So if you do it really honestly, and she is not willing to do that, I'll tell you what I used to do. I used to put them in different places and then keep track of those, at least for the first 3 months. I'd keep track of the Fast Start bonuses that would have gone to Sarah. Let me tell you what happens. If Sarah will not sign up as a Wellness Advocate, guess what happens? See, normally she gets 20%, I would get 10. So that's a total of 30%. But if if Kate will not sign up as a Wellness Advocate, she's only a wholesale customer. Is there something unplugged? If Kate will not sign up as a Wellness Advocate and she's got 6 people to place, and let's say this is the team I'm placing under, then what happens is I've talked to her, she won't do it. I've got to put them here. I would be the enroller. So the enrollership go to Teresa. I'll put this so that you know I'm the enroller. However we decide we're going to place them, which I'll show you later. So I have these enrollerships. Now what happens? I get 20% because I'm the enroller, okay? Now, if I'm going to pay, and do I get the 10% also? No, Justin gets the 10%. Justin would get the 10%. So if I give the 20% to Katie, because that's what she would have gotten, then I don't get anything. And again, this is not why we make that decision. I don't care if I get that 20%. For me, it's never about that. Never, never, never. Even at the beginning. I'll tell you what, I went through a phase when I was a young girl, pretty young, where I was very, very dishonest. And I became kind of a con artist. And you guys, why do I get emotional? Oh my goodness. I'm not proud of that. And I'll tell you what, my kids, knowing that honesty is so important. And I'm telling you, if I was at home and they would answer the phone, I'd say, hey, I don't want to take it right now. If they said she can't come to the phone right now, I would get upset. I would say, don't say she can't come to the phone right now. Say she asked me to take a message, because that's not true. Okay, that's a big deal to me. So I could care less if I get the 20. But what I started to discover, because I used to give it, I used to give the 20 because I don't care if I get it. I just want to have integrity. But what I started noticing is what you are creating in the character of this person is the attitude of getting something for nothing. The same way that happens when we build a team for someone else and they start complaining. It's unbelievable how I saw that start to happen. So I realized, you know what, that's going too far. So if that happens, I don't give them the fast start unless they say, hey, I really don't want to do it. But it sounds like it benefits you. Is there some way, like as we're making she wants to make a business arrangement with me and says, hey, well, can I have the fast starts? Well, guess what? That's a huge benefit to me to be able to put all these people where I want them. Then of course I'll say, yes, whatever you tell me, and I'll work that out. But not forever. It'll just be a certain time, because for 3 months, it's easy to keep track of. Well, it's still a lot of work. But after 3 months, oh my gosh, you guys, can you imagine keeping track of the enrollerships off of all these people year after year after year? Pretty soon you don't even know where those people are. I'm not going to do that. Okay. So. Okay,
it is 7:30 now.
Ah!
To go to placement.
Okay.
Specifics.
This is the deal. I'm going to take 10 more minutes. Because I'm going to go into the questions. Roger's shaking his head. Okay, I will take 10 minutes because I want to cover a few of those things, but I promise we're going to cover a half hour of placements, okay? So 10 more minutes, okay? I'm trying to see if Roger's giving me a funny look. No, he's good. Qualify for rank. To qualify for rank, if this is you, because some of these will go really fast, that way we'll get past these. If I'm trying to qualify for rank, what happens is let's say I have 3 people on my front line, or however many. It doesn't matter how many. If I have these on my line, let's say we have Sarah, Kate, and John, all right? And I always have more girls in my examples because there are more girls in doTERRA, so I'm trying to keep it realistic. So if I've got 3 people on my team, let's say John is a total builder. Kate is a customer, but she's a wellness advocate. She's a wellness advocate customer who doesn't want to build, and her team, for whatever reason, maybe she was building, maybe I built for her erroneously, whatever. She's got this big old team. It is big. And Sarah's also building, okay? This is what happens. Let's say what happens is I have enrollership of these 3 people. Sarah is qualifying me for rank. Let's say I'm trying to hit silver. John is qualifying me for rank, but Kate doesn't qualify me because she doesn't have this leg. She built to a certain stage and then didn't want to build anymore. And now we made a business arrangement and someone down here on my team is now, let's say this person is now my qualifier. I'll put Q for qualifier. This person now is my qualifying leg. She let me have enrollership. That's what's happening. Now, the way it works is to be a qualifier for you to count toward your ranks. For example, in silver, you have to have 3 elites, right? Those 3 elites have to be personally enrolled by you. I said that right, Roger? They have to be personally enrolled by you. So what if Kate can't qualify me? Then guess what? I can only have 1 qualifier in each of these legs. So it doesn't matter if this is my qualifier. Kate is on my front line. So my qualifier has to be somewhere under Kate. It happens to be this person. What if this person quits doing it? What if my qualifier all of a sudden comes over here? Well, is it under Kate? Yes. But can this person qualify me and this person qualify me? No, because they're both under Kate. Doesn't matter that Kate is not my qualifier. I only get one underneath the person on my front line. So that ends up causing some major issues if you don't understand that in placements. Okay, we talked about the M1. I'm not going to talk about what are people teaching today. Let me see what the next one is. Oh my goodness, you guys. Okay, I'm going to do some of the mistakes, the biggest mistakes, okay? We're not going to get through very many of these, but I will finish them next week. So one of the biggest mistakes, I have 11 of them. And if you guys know these, even if you don't understand why, or you don't know what you're supposed to do, or you hear other people saying, no, don't do it that way, I am telling you, if you will not do these things, you treat these like these are life and death in your business. You do not make these mistakes unless you absolutely have no other choice. None. Not because you're being lazy, not because you'll have no other choice if you're being lazy, or if you have, if you kind of make excuses. If you will not make these mistakes and choose, no, I'm not going to do that, then even if you don't understand all of placements and all of this doesn't make sense to you, you will be in that 90% or above best placement strategy people. I am telling you. Can you hear that? They're doing work on the apartment above us. So it's funny, every day during, I don't know what work they're doing, but I'll tell you what, I swear every apartment must need to be worked on because it's always happening. I always have to wait to record my videos until later in the evening. Okay, so mistake number one is people who put sharers or customers on their front line. And I'm talking about wellness advocates. Okay, number one, if you put a sharer or a customer on your front line, then you are the one who's going to be doing all the work. You're the one who's going to be doing all the work. Roger, I need the page that has, you guys, I just want to make sure I don't forget stuff. Okay, can you take this up, Raj? Okay, let's see. If you put sharers and customers on your front line, then remember, what's the goal of placements? The goal is you're not placing for rank, you're not placing for power of 3, you are placing for time freedom. Time freedom. You guys, if you put sharers or builders on or sharers or customers on your front line, you are sucking your time freedom. And you want to know what else you're doing? Because you're sucking your time freedom, you are setting yourself up to be silver for the rest of your life, which is okay if that's what you want to do. But most of you, that's not what you want. Because I will tell you, if you're really good, you can hit silver and do a lot of the work all yourself. You're plugging holes, you're constantly having to fill everything in. You have sucked your time freedom, but you can do silver, and you can even do gold. I've seen a few do platinum, and I've seen one person, well, actually, maybe a few people I have seen hit diamond doing it that way. But then once they're diamond, I have one person on my team who hit diamond that way, and then they were diamond for about 6 years. 6 years, they couldn't get past it until they finally started fixing the problems based on the way they teach how to fix in the last sessions of this whole training, okay? Do not put sharers and customers on your front line. Let's see. And again, we'll talk about how to solve these later. Mistake number 2. What time is it, Roger? Mistake. 7. Okay, mistake number 2 is they put family on their front line. Family, and in fact, I'm going to change that. Family on the first or second level. Do not do this. Do not do this. And I'm telling you what, one of my rules of placements is you can't build, we'll get to this one, but don't build for anybody else. You don't build for someone else, you build with them. The minute they stop building, you stop placing people under them. You don't build for someone else unless it's your parents, because your parents absolutely deserve for you to take care of them. And so I did that. And I built for my parents, I put them on my front line, and they are now making $13,000 a month. And so I don't worry, that's awesome. And that team grows in some places, in other places it's kind of just stable. And so that's great. I'll tell you this. I'm a pretty spiritual person, and I pray for guidance. I know different people have different ways of getting their inspiration or their answers or that kind of thing. For me, it's prayer. And for that situation, I absolutely felt so strongly to put them on my front line. And I hesitate to say this, even though I absolutely believe in it. If you feel prompted and you know that's something you're supposed to do, then do it. But I will tell you this, don't use that as an excuse. Do not use that as an excuse. Well, no, I really feel like I should do this. If it's not absolutely, no question. Is that really me thinking that? If you don't know, don't do it. If you know it's an inspiration, then do it. And I knew with my parents it was. And I'll tell you this, normally, unless you feel that way, always put it on the third level. If this is you, and guess what? I don't need my mom on my front line. And it ended up one of the rare situations where it ended up okay. But guess what? Now there are some things we're needing to take care of because of that, but I don't question it because I know I was supposed to do that. And for those of you who don't believe in that kind of thing, I'm sure that you're thinking, oh, that's ridiculous. But hopefully you see that I am very by the book. You figure it out. There are reasons and mathematical equations, and there's a specific process that you follow, and that's the case. But it absolutely isn't going to hurt you if you put, so here's me, and here is my frontline leader. This is my builder who's building. If I want to build for my mom and help her, first of all, get yourself stable. You can't focus on helping them if you're worried about survival for yourself. Get your business going. I would recommend getting your 3 legs, at least getting to silver, then put your parents on there and help them build as a 4th leg, but not on your front line. What we do now, and it works awesome, is do you put it on this builder's front line? No, because now they still feel pressure to do whatever or hit whatever rank, even if you're building for them. It needs to not be this person's qualifying leg. So what we do is this builder has some legs, and we put it on your 3rd level. You can still take care of your parents just as much as you want. You can build under that leg just as much as you want. You might put it under this person, but it's not their qualifying leg. It may or may not be an extra qualifying leg for them, depending on what you do within rollership, but they have their own 3 legs. In their minds, this one does not count. I'll put it as a square. That's your parents. Now, do you ever have to call your mom and go, hey mom, we really need you to buy 150 points because we're trying to do, what's your mom gonna say to you? She's gonna say, don't you talk to me that way, Teresa. That's not gonna work. And it hurts relationships. So yes, help your parents. Totally help your parents, but do it on your 3rd level. And guess what? Some of my most massive leaders have done the same thing, only on their last level.
Okay, it's time.
Now it's 22. Okay, so we'll go over more mistakes. I think we need the new
I'll
sheet.
come fix it.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to go over placements. I'm going to show you how to place on a brand new team. And while we're waiting for Roger, I'm going to hold this like this. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. It's hard. I'll guide you along with this because you don't always know all the mistakes. But as we're talking about it, I will totally tell you if it's a mistake we haven't talked about. I'll just say it's because you can't do this, or you don't want to build for someone, or that kind of thing. Okay, thank you, Roger. He is awesome. Okay, so this is what happens if this is you and you are brand new. Number 1, I'll say this first, and I know you guys are going to start scrambling on the comments, and you're going to go, I know, but what if I didn't do that? That's okay. That's how we're going to do this. But what you should do is you should find a builder first. And I know you're going, but what? You can't find a builder. I will show you. This is the correct, best way to do it. Find a builder. And if you don't know how to find a builder, guess what? My trainings that teach you about how to recruit. If you don't know how to recruit, then that's an issue. But if you think about this, if you know how to recruit, totally know how to recruit. Doesn't scare you at all. You know how to invite to a class. You also know how to, you know how to teach the class. You know how to close the class. And you know how to follow up. Guess what? That's 5 things. If you know how to do those 5 things, do you think it's any problem if you really know how to recruit? No. I'd say go find a builder. You told me to go find a builder, I'll be like, okay. And I can have a builder within a week or 2. But my trainings teach you truly how to do that. Exactly how to do it. Anybody can do it. But, so the correct way to do it is go find a builder. What do we want on our front line? Hopefully you guys have all watched the previous video, committed and capable. If you don't remember what those mean, go back and look because it's not what you think it is. Okay, you want a committed, capable person on your front line. As soon as you find one committed, capable person, you put them on your front line. And again, I'll show you what to do if you don't have one yet. And then everything you do goes under this team because they're actually building, you're not doing it for them. Everything goes under this team until you find your second committed, capable person. So a lot of times people will say, well, start with 2 legs, start with 3 legs. When we say you're helping build elites so that you can hit silver, that doesn't mean go bam, 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 put 3 on your front line right now. That's not what that means. When we say find 3 builders, we don't mean put them on there right now. You are eventually going to find 3 builders, knowing that you're trying to hit silver. If you're trying to, if your next strength that you're going for is Premier, is that what it's called? Yeah, Premier, then you are going to be looking for 2 builders, but that doesn't mean you just throw 2 people up there. The first 2 people who sound like they might be a sharer, you don't just put 2 people. I'll do it down here. So this is if you're trying to go for silver, and this is if you're trying to go for Premier. You don't just bam, bam, put them up. You wait for a committed, capable. And we'll talk about, well, what if I don't have one to start with? Don't worry. Committed, capable. And as soon as you have another committed, capable, you put them here. Let's say you don't have another committed, capable person yet. Okay, so I'll be telling you some things. This is what I'm going to do while we're waiting for the video. Because for placements, you've got to be able to see where I'm putting people. So what I'm going to do is I will start listing for you the mistakes that people make in placements. And at least we'll have a little bit of, this will help you understand it a little bit better when we get the video back, okay? So let's see. So we talked about how the biggest mistakes so far are putting sharers and customers on your front line. The second thing is putting family on your front line. I taught you how to do that. The third biggest mistake that people make is giving their enrollerships away. Now we're not talking about ones where you taught the class, Kate was the hostess and they were the people she invited. That doesn't mean you're giving your enrollerships to Kate. Those were Kate's enrollerships to begin with, okay? What this means is you sign people up. You're the one who invited them. Maybe you invited them to Kate's class. If you are the one who invited them, you keep the enrollership. If you give that enrollership away, you create a problem. I'll talk in more detail about that tomorrow, but at least you understand, do not give the enrollership away, even if your leader needs it so that they can hit Premier. If you think, well, it's their front line, I'm putting it on their front line so that they will be able to hit a rank, well, we're going to wait. I'll tell you exactly when you give that enrollership away, when we talk about it in more detail. But you do not give it at the beginning, ever, ever, ever. Now, if we talked about giving the fast start bonuses to someone, this is where I would give my fast start bonus to someone. If I have Sarah on my front line and she is my builder, and let's say I find another builder and I don't need them on my front line because my front line is full, then I'm going to put this builder underneath Sarah. But I'm going to keep the enrollership, even though Sarah is building. So Sarah is on my front line. Let's say Erica is my new enrollment. I put it under Sarah and Erica wants to build as well. So Sarah and Erica are building and Sarah is doing all the work with Erica. She's doing everything she's supposed to do. What's going to happen is when I get that fast start bonus from Erica, I will get 20% for the first 60 days that Erica is purchasing, right? When I get that 20%, I'm going to give it to Sarah. Even though, remember, I'll just finish this thought and then we'll go back to this. Even though, remember how I taught you, if this is Sarah and this is Erica, if I'm the enroller, if I have the enrollership, this is me, I have Erica's enrollership. Who's going to get the 20%? Me. I'm going to get the 20%. If I give that 20% to Sarah, who gets the 10%? Justin. So I get nothing. And that's okay with me. Because remember I said, it's never about the money. It's always about doing it the way that's right. If Sarah's doing all that work, she should get the fast start bonus from Erica. Now, I am not going to figure out, honestly, because it's way too time consuming, if Erica starts enrolling people, who gets the 20, if Erica gets the 20%, who would get the, she would get the 20% from this person. Who gets the 10? Me. I'm not going to figure out, oh, how much 10% should I give to Sarah? Because you guys, it is so time consuming and it's crazy. We've tried to do that before. It's not worth it. And I've given her a builder. That's huge. So for her to build that, she's going to, in 60 days, she's going to get all the benefit from all of that. Plus, there's some value in not giving that 10% to Sarah, because Sarah needs to make sure she's enrolling. If I enroll everyone, even if Sarah takes care of everybody, what am I incentivizing her to do? Oh, I don't need to enroll because Teresa will do it. Well, if I'm doing all the hard work to enroll all those people, those fast starts should come to me. If they all go to Sarah, then Sarah starts to feel like, oh, I don't need to enroll. We don't want to incentivize the wrong behaviors. If you have a CC on your front line, this is what's going to happen. You haven't just placed people here because you didn't have more builders, more CCs. You have a CC here. Now what happens if you have a sharer? You have a sharer, they don't have a builder. Look, that was the same situation you wanted to know. What if this is you and you didn't have a CC yet? Then you have to place them somewhere. But in a perfect world, you'd go, I have a CC, I have a CC. Now, do you remember where you place someone who's committed or capable? The committed or capable goes on your second level. So this is a CC. If for this person, they find somebody who's only committed, that person goes here. But now I get that that's in a perfect world. That's not what happens for. Okay, you guys, I don't know how many of you are still able to be with me. And I am so sorry about those technical difficulties. For those of you who didn't hear before, what we're going to do is we are going to figure out what is going on, because this is what we're using is a high level platform. So I'm not sure why it's not working, but if we just need to do Facebook Live, even though the video isn't so great, then that's what we'll do every time. You guys, some of you guys are amazing that you have stuck with me. So thanks for coming back. So you might not have heard this when I was telling you this. So I was just going to say, welcome you guys to what we have to deal with as we try to use the internet here when we're trying to get our work done. So there are certain times of day where, and it's not this is not the slowest time of day, but sometimes we can get it to work great and sometimes we can't. So I am so sorry for that. But we will be posting a video of this. And guess what? I thought ahead this time. So we were doing Facebook Live. We were doing video on the webinar. And I also told my husband, I said, you know what? Let's set up our camera and do a video that way, just in case. So we've been recording it that way as well. And so anyway, we'll get this figured out. Thanks for your patience. And while we live in China, though, we might just need to deal with this. Okay, so what's going to happen is, we talked about how if you put a CC right on your front line, what if you don't have a CC? You're going to follow the placement rules the very best you can. So if you don't have a CC, you want to put a CC on your front line, and then you don't have one. So what if you have a choice? You have a class. You've got a choice between a sharer, a builder who is not committed and capable, but they say they want to build the business. You've got another sharer. You've got a customer. And you've got you've got a wholesale customer. This customer is a wellness advocate, okay? What if you have these? Then what you do is you just make the best possible choice that you can. Now, do I say, wow, okay, I'm looking at these people, I'm guessing. Because of what they said to me at the class, I'm just guessing. This person said they only want to share. This person said they totally want to build the business. This person said they want to share, but they'd like to do at least 1 or 2 classes a month. That's more than this person said. So this might be an S plus, a sharer plus. Then this person's a customer. They just want to be a wellness advocate, and they signed up as a wellness advocate. So I could put people underneath them, and this one's a wholesale customer, so I can't put anybody underneath them. If you just go by what happened that night, what are you going to do? If you do is believe what they say, which you guys, we don't do this, but what would you do? You'd put the builder. Of course, you're going to put the builder on your front line because they said they're a builder. Then what's going to happen? This person, are you going to start another leg right now because you're trying to get power through? No, because you don't want to start another leg until you find a CC. Now, even if you have to start your team like this, Or let's say, well, we'll talk about even if you didn't even have a builder. No matter what, if you have to put anybody in your frontline key spot and they are not a committed, capable person, you don't ever, ever start another leg until you find a committed, capable person. You do the best with what you have. So they need a frontline person. They say they're going to be a builder. If you didn't talk to them, you didn't check, you didn't test them, nothing, you would put the sharer right here, the sharer plus, because that would be a good person for his front line, for that person's front line. Now, remember how I taught you guys, when you're placing, I don't care where you are placing. If you're placing directly under someone, if you're placing directly under this person, you pretend like that is you. You pretend like it's you. And if it's you and you are building and you're trying to hit rank, then what would you do if this was you? Would you put, so now you've used this one, would you now put this sharer on your front line? No, because you want to save that spot for committed capables. So what you're going to do is you're going to put that one under here. So here's a sharer. Now, look what's happening. It's starting to look like we're going 1, 1, 1 deep, and we don't want to do that, right? So you do the very best you can like this, but once you get to this point, don't go beyond that and just keep going straight down. What's going to happen is everybody can always have a consumer on their front line. You might have more than one. You don't want to have very many, but it's okay to have consumers on your front line. That actually stabilizes your business. So did you know that in doTERRA, the statistics are absolutely clear. Corey Lindley shares these with us all the time. This is what happens. 85% of the people on your team are going to be customers. And I'm not talking, and whether they're wholesale customers or wellness advocates, they are customers. Okay? That means that 15% of the people on your team are builders. I will tell you this, your percentage will get better as you learn how to do the trainings that I teach you. Watch for those videos that I taught you how to recruit, which is called sampling effectively. That is recruiting. What about inviting to the class, teaching the class, and closing the class, and then following up? If you know how to do those things, I'll tell you right now, you're going to find more builders. So your percentages will be better. Now, what about, so now we've gone down this far, let's stop, because we don't want somebody on our front line that is not committed and capable, but 85%, you guys, we can't just only have C. Those customers have to go somewhere. So what happens is you've got another sharer. So I might put this on this person's front line, not thinking that's another leg for them. If this is Kate, we're not thinking, oh, good, Kate has another leg now. No, oh, whoops, we already placed the sharer. So let's say we've already placed the sharer. Now we've got to put the customer somewhere. Here's the customer who's a wellness advocate. We're not thinking, oh, good, she's got another leg. We're going to start building under that leg. No, that's just a customer that needed to go somewhere. They need people to take care of them. But I don't want 100 customers on my front line. What you try to do is have only between 1 and 3 customers on each person's front line. Now, if you try to obey that rule, look at what happens. Now, here you've got this customer. Every single person can have a customer under them. Do you see how that opens it up? All of a sudden, I've got a wholesale customer here. Where can they go? Well, they could go. This one already has a customer on their front line. We don't want to fill out a whole bunch of customers on their front line. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to either put it under here or under here. I could put it under me, but I'll tell you why I'm not going to. If I'm the one who enrolled them, I am not going to put a customer under me. 2 reasons. Number one, the most important reason is because time freedom. Who has to take care of them now? Me. I could go to Justin and say, hey, Justin, I'm putting somebody on my front line. Would you take care of them? That's silly. But if I'm going to put the customer underneath this person or this person or this person, are they excited to get that person? Yes. Would you be excited if I said, hey, Paige, I've got somebody, they just want to be a customer, but I'd like to put them on your team. Duh. You would totally say, yeah. Everybody says yes. Yes, I would love that. Okay. So what's going to happen is now you've opened up your whole world. I can put 1 customer under each person. Now, as far as we want CCs, so what are the different categories we have? We have CC, we have a 1C, either committed or capable. We have sharers, I'll say sharers plus. We have customers, and I'll call it a wellness advocate customer. We have customers who are wholesale wholesale customers, and we have what else? We have builders who maybe are not committed and capable, but usually a builder who's not committed and capable is usually this. They might either be committed or capable. They could be neither, but they're usually that. But I'm going to separate it because it could be different. What are the other things that you think of that we could get? You guys know. Some of you are going, we could have this. I know because I have one. Okay, so Roger, would you look at?
I think you'll cover everything if you just stick with those.
Okay.
What we're getting a lot of questions about is, what if they're all wholesale customers?
Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that in a second. He says, what if they're all wholesale customers? I'll show you that in a second. And I'll tell you right now, you guys, if they are all wholesale customers, then it's because you do not know how to talk to them. And I'm not saying that that's bad. I'm just saying the beauty of this is all of those 5 skills can totally be learned. Absolutely learned, and easily. The only part that's hard about learning those 5 skills is fear, if you are afraid. So I can teach you how to do it, and you can do it. I even teach you in my videos, you guys. I teach you how to say it. I say when to pause. I tell you when to say certain things or sound laid back or sound passionate, because I understand. If that doesn't come naturally to you or you're nervous, you need to learn it, and it's a learned skill. It's easy. So, okay, now let's go back to this. I'll get to the all wholesale customers in a second, but first we're going to finish this way. So now we've got one more person to place. We've placed this person. Now where does this one go? We don't want to keep going down straight. So now we're going to put this wholesale customer underneath either this one, or this one. You never want to put a customer under a customer. Now, some of you are going to be freaking out. Wait, I thought you couldn't put a customer under a customer. Remember, if this is a wellness advocate and they're a customer, I could put this person underneath here. But you never want to do that. There is like minute, rare situation where you would do that. I've had that happen a couple times with a couple of my leaders. I'll show you those when I get to those in the placement and some of the other placement we're going to do. But so basically you're going to put, this one already has one customer. So you're going to put this wholesale customer under here or under here. And the other reason I'm not going to put it underneath me is because I might find that someone who is committed and capable. They're amazing. They seem awesome. I put them on my front line. Guess what? This happened. Let me tell you what happened. I found someone committed, capable, unbelievable leader. And he had owned his own companies. He was super successful, awesome. Well, he started using the oils because his son was in sports in college, and he couldn't believe what the oils were doing to help support some things that were happening with his son in his health challenges. So he got excited, enrolled, was totally going to build with me, and was absolutely doing it. And then very shortly after that, he got so excited about it, he decided to start his own network marketing company. And you guys, obviously that's an extreme example. He started his own network marketing company. But guess what? He still orders oils every single month because he loves the oils. Is he ever going to build for me, at least right now? No way. So I ended up with a customer. He's no longer going to build. He's a customer on my front line. And you're going to end up with customers because life happens. So as life happens, you'll end up with those on your front line. That's why if this is you, let's say I'm working with my leader, Kate, and I say, Kate, hey, I've got these people. I've got this customer who's a wellness advocate. Let's put her on your front line. Let's put the person on your front line. Kate might say, you know what? No, let's go ahead and put it underneath my leaders. So if I'm working with my leaders, we'll try to put it down lower. The other beauty of that is the lower they are on your team, the more you get paid. Because remember how I taught you, you get paid more on your lower levels? 1, 2, 3. Is that right? 1, 2, yeah, 3. So this is your third level. If you put this person right here, I'm going to get paid 5%. Instead of if I put them here, I would have gotten paid 3%. Now, do we make those decisions because we're trying to make more money? If you place that way, you will suck your time freedom. But notice how if I focus on time freedom, then that will naturally happen. There might be some situations where I don't make quite as much, but in the end, I'm going to make way more because I did this right. And I will also have time freedom. Okay, now let's go to the situation where, oh darn, I was afraid of this. Naughty me, look what I did. Okay, do we have the markers? Yeah, they're in my drawer in that in the office. Roger is so awesome, you guys. What would we do without him? You guys need to send him loves and kudos and stuff because he's seriously running around trying to fix the technical problems, taking care of everything. We would not be able to do this. And I just get to look like, oh, you guys, it's fine. We're having these major problems from China. We have 3,000 people and it's just fine because he's taking care of everything. So he's going to get me some dry erase markers. Thank heaven this is a dry erase board. And I'll need the eraser too, Roger. Thank you. So now I'm going to show you what's going to happen if this is all wholesale customers, And then I'm going to tell you, shame on you if you have all wholesale customers because you haven't watched all the training. Guess what? All the training isn't out yet. So, but it's getting there, and I have a surprise for you guys. I'm going to tell you what's going on with that. Oh, I used this. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at this. The plastic is not off. I totally used this for some of my videos, and when I went to wipe it off, I was all, wow. This is awful. It really doesn't wipe off very well. Okay, you guys, you're getting me real and raw, okay? So I think you'll be able to see the blue better. Thank you, Roger. Yet again, saving the day. So here's you. Wow! I'm sorry. I just have to take a moment. It writes on there so much more smoothly. I'm so sorry. This is one of those moments that you usually aren't recording and you get to privately have this dough head moment by yourself. I call it a dough head. My kids laugh at me because it's like you have dough in your head. Okay, so this is what's going on. We've got this, and by the way, hopefully that helps you realize, oh my gosh, if she can hit presidential diamond, then definitely I could do it. Okay, here's you. You've got, we've got a wholesale customer, customer who's a wellness advocate. Customer who's a wellness advocate, and let's say that's all we have. Now, remember in our last example, we didn't talk to them, we didn't test them, we didn't try to find out where they were coming from, we just believed what they said. Again, okay, let me just see. So we protect our time freedom by cluttering up their front line and their time freedom. Very good question. Who asked that? Alicia, you are awesome. Yes, we don't care about them. No, this is what happens. Let me answer that because that's a really good question. Let's go back to this. Okay, so if this was Kate, this was my builder, we put a wholesale customer on here, this is what's going to happen. Because I'm only going to put one on their front line, I'm not going to clutter it up. I'm only doing one. And so she's not going to have any others unless she finds one and she's like, I'll put that one on my front line. Or Kate, if this is Kate, what's going to happen is Kate will have somebody that says they're going to build and she puts them on her front line. Now it's too late to move them and then they don't build. So she'll end up with a few other people on her front line as well. Do you see why it's so important to get committed and capable? If you have that, you're less likely to run into that problem. How many of you guys, and hopefully if you're brave enough to answer this question, how many of you guys have tons of people on your front line? I look at, people are asking me to help them with their teams and help fix the structure. Oh my gosh, I will see people who have like 30 people on their front line. Let me see. Seems like they were just passing off those who are not CCs to other people, then have to deal with them on our own messed up tree. Yeah, watch me, trust me, because what's going to happen is you're not going to have very many. If I only am willing to give each of my people one customer, everybody's excited to get a customer, but this is why it's not messing it up. I'll show you why. Because Kate is not thinking, this is my qualifying leg. If this is a customer that I gave her, she's just thinking, oh good, extra volume over there. It might help with my power 3. It might help with, when I need volume in that leg. And so everybody's going to have some. Those 85% have to go somewhere. So watch, as you see how we fill it in, you'll see that it doesn't turn into a hot mess for them. Okay? Let's see if everybody's saying, thank you, Roger. Roger rocks. Okay, now, oh, do we have an eraser? Oh yeah, this is the eraser, I think. Yeah.
Hope it works.
Oh, wow, that works so much better. I was thinking, we bought this in China. Can you take those out? We bought this in China. I was thinking, oh wow, I got a lower quality one. I guess this one is just not very good. Okay, so all wholesale customers. Now, I'll tell you this, if you're worried about messing up your team's front line, then you know what? You start figuring out how to turn those people into builders or sharers. Because I promise you, I know exactly how to do it. I know how to teach you how to do it. Then get on the ball and start doing that. And I will show you where you find that training.
Plus, if they're wholesale customers, you'll be able to move them after 90 days if they upgrade to a wellness advocate.
Yeah. So it is, I'll say this now, but I'm going to qualify it. Not always the case. Usually it's better to sign someone if they don't know if they want to build. Unless they know they want to build, then what you want to do is you want to sign them up as a wholesale customer, because 90 days later, they can upgrade. And whenever they upgrade, if it's 90 days, if it's a year from now, we can now decide where we want to put them. So if I have Katie on my front line and I put this wholesale customer here, what if this wholesale customer a year and a half from now decides they want to build, or they want to share and have a class and they want to upgrade? Doesn't matter what level. Guess what? Now Katie's got this whole team going on. She did not count this as a qualifying leg. She just thought it was nice volume over there. Guess what? Now she can say, oh, good, this person's upgrading. Where do I want to put them? I can put them underneath here, or wherever is going to be best. Okay, so what are you guys saying? Robin says she's rolling around on the floor laughing. Yeah, that's because you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is the deal. Now watch. We're going to keep placing only customers and wholesale customers and customers that are wellness advocates. Okay, this is what's going to happen. Guess what? If I don't talk to them, I don't know. Obviously, I can't put anybody under a wholesale customer.
But when you say I don't talk to them, what do you mean by that?
Okay.
Help clarify.
That means I don't test them. I don't find out. I don't talk to them more, ask them questions to find out how much they really want to be involved. I'll tell you what, 80 or 90% of the people I actually talk to turn out to want to at least do a little bit of business. If not, at least be a solid sharer. And I'll show you how that's done, okay? I'm not kidding. So we'll call this 1, 2, 3 and A, B, C. No, we won't. We're going to get confused with the C's. I'll say 1, 4, 5, 6, okay? So we obviously can't we don't want to put the wholesale customers on our front line because we can't put anybody under them. What we're going to do is, let's say as we had the class, customer number 5 sounded really knowledgeable about the oils, and it seemed like they were really kind of interested. They were getting pretty intrigued, and I kind of thought, wow. And maybe they run a clinic, or maybe they're a massage therapist or whatever. And I thought, you know what? Of all the people that I would want to put on my front line, I think this one would be the best one. They seem like they might be you're making a guess. You are making the best guess, but the bad thing is you are not making an educated guess. You're just guessing. And if you're really good at reading people, you might guess right. But if you will do what I'll teach you in a minute, then you're going to have a way better chance. So wellness advocate number 5, this is what happens. Are we going to start with 3 legs? No way. We're starting with 1, and I'll put it over here because I need space here. So this is customer number 5, okay? This one seemed like the best choice. Now this one is done. Now where are we going to put everybody else? Well, guess what? Customer number 4 seemed like they were the next best possible, might want to do the business. They said, well, I only want to be a customer. I don't want to do anything. I mean, if I really love the oils, then if I see that they work, then, I think I want to share them with my sister. That was the most you got from these 2. Then this person would go next, okay? So this is customer number 4. Now we've got customer number 6. Absolutely didn't want to do the business, was not interested, but wanted to be a wellness advocate for who knows why, okay? If you know what you're doing, you'll talk to them and help them know to sign up as a wholesale customer, because there are benefits to them. Let me tell you why. Because if we put them as a customer that isn't going to build, let's say, so this is C5, let's assume they do start to build a little bit. What happens if they start building a team and we had put customer number 6 over here because they didn't want to do anything? So this is not in our qualifying legs. It's just the one front line that we can put on that person. And by the way, if this was her class, are we going to put this one here? No, we'd put this one underneath someone else, because our upline might put a customer on our front line, which obviously if you're building, you'd be working with them. But you've got to structure it a little bit evenly so that nobody is stuck with a mess, like you guys said, okay? Now, here she is, or actually, you know what? Let's just be even more realistic. If this is Kate's class, Kate had the class. No, she didn't, because it was my class. I lied. You're like, Teresa, get it straight. Okay, that was my class. So I'm going to put this customer, let's say I'm going to put this customer here, because they signed up as a wellness advocate, then they're the next best option to build. But that's not why I'm putting them here. I'm putting them here not because I'm hoping they might build. They're the extra, not counting as a leg at all, okay? So this is C6. The mistake that people make is they think, well, I've got to put them somewhere, so this is the next best person, so now I have 2 legs. That's the mistake they make. No, you don't have 2 legs. You don't even have 1. You're just doing your best because you don't have a committed capable, okay? So I had 14. Okay, we'll go to 14. All right. Wait, so what is that 28, Lori? Who's saying? I'm wondering if you're saying you have that many people you need to place. We'll go to 14 so you can see what will happen. Because we don't want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? We don't want to do that. Now, we've got to place these guys. Oh, but I was going to tell you what happens if this person signed up as a wellness advocate, which is what they did. Now, a year later, they decide to build. Well, they have to stay right where they are. What if this person now is already diamond? They're diamond. They don't need another leg. Of course, they're going to help that person. If you have doTERRA culture, of course, you're going to help. But guess what your time should be spent on? 80% of your time should be, 80% of your time should be spent on your builders, your people who are actively building. And hopefully it's your CCs, but you might have sharers who are building, okay? But that's 80% of your time. 20 that are your qualifying legs, your qualifying legs. And I know a lot of you are already going, oh my gosh, I'm spending 80% of the time on my builders, but I'm working with like 30 on all of my whole team. That's not what I'm talking about. This is your qualifying legs, period, okay? Now, 20% of your time should be spent on the people who are not your qualifying legs. And at first you might think, that's not fair. I'm not helping these people. I promise, if you will start to balance your time better, you will have time freedom. And that 20%, you will become awesome at it, okay? I can either do, for example, look what I'm doing. I'm making videos because I've decided to go double presidential. Even with my 3 frontline, well, at 4 that I've started with, guess what happens? Those 4, do I want to go to one person and teach, okay, this is how you do a wellness consult, and I spend an hour of my time doing that. Now I go to the second person, this is how I do a wellness consult. Well, guess what? I'm willing. That is so worth it because you can't always do everything in a group, but guess what I'm doing now? I create the video of how to do a wellness consult, and I meet with my leader and I say, okay, let's go over this stuff. Now, instead of spending an hour teaching them how to do a wellness consult, I say, go watch that video, and then next week when we get together, we are going to get your frontline leader on the phone, and we're doing a wellness consult with them. You're going to run it, and I will help you. They're going to practice it. Or if they're not quite ready or they feel too nervous, if it's somebody that would scare them too much, then I will say, okay, oh my goodness, well, let's do this. For our next session, instead of me spending an hour teaching you how to do it, and now we've only gone through it once, they go watch the video. Now they come to me, and in our hour session, guess what's going to happen? They're going to do it to me. They're going to practice it with me, so now they can do it with their leader. Do you get how much time that is saving me? So if you do everything based on time, freedom, all of a sudden you become a better leader. Your team can explode in ways you never would have imagined. Now, okay, remember, these are people you never talked to, or you didn't find out for sure what they really wanted to do. So this is what you're doing. So they've got, so now what happens, this person now starts to build. We can't move them anywhere else because they were already a wellness advocate and it's past the 14 days, a year ago. So they have to stay here. Well, what if this person really needs to focus on helping their 4 legs for diamond? Sorry, I'll help you as much as I can, but we have to be wise about our time. So until these people are solid, this person shows they really, then that's like for blue, but we don't want to count on that. We don't know. When that person first enrolls, we're not thinking, well, they could be a blue leg later. No. We can't think like that. That is your extra person that had to go somewhere, and they're just a customer. They're not a leg for you. They're not anything. They're just there because you are helping people with the oils. And guess what? Because I put it underneath you, that might help you hit elite. Even though we don't want to structure you as an elite who has stuff all over the place, we are structuring you toward for first premier. Like if we're trying to go elite, we're trying to help this person go elite. Well, I'm not going to just structure it all over, but that does help your overall volume. So that's not a bad thing. And guess who's getting paid for this? They're getting paid. I'm getting paid. Okay. Everybody's getting paid. It's okay. Now let's look at what happens. Here, I got to erase these.
Here's your eraser.
I know, but it's so big. I don't know if I can. When I do this, I always end up with colorful fingers. Okay. So let's say we've done this so far. I want to show you how it doesn't look confusing by the time you're done. So now we've got to place this one, wholesale customer. Guess what? We can put one customer under each person. You put one customer. Here's a wholesale customer. Okay, where can the next person go? Nobody can go under this person. Then guess what? You're going to have to put them here. And if all you have is wholesale customers, now I might put one here. Actually, I wouldn't. I would never do that. Now that let's be honest.
Let's be honest, unless you were always short on your power of 3 every month for your $50 power of 3, you might put a wholesale customer on the front line to get that, make sure that 600 is happening.
Yes, yes. Now, so hopefully, did you guys hear that? Let me know if you heard. I know there's a lag, so I'll wait a second. It took me a while to get wellness advocates. Diane, thanks for telling me. Nope, because I watched your videos the moment I started. Good, because you learn from all my stupid mistakes. This is why I teach this, you guys, and this is why I get so passionate about it. He's learning that I won't use the eraser, so he brings me this. He's so nice. Okay, so, at least can use it. All right, now what? Let's see. Seems that video won't load. Uh-oh, I'm not sure what you guys are talking about. Roger, would you get with Chelsea and try to figure that out? You guys will try to figure that out for you. Okay, so you can support your builder shares, no benefit to you on Frontline if you have too many. No, no, no. Now, I would rather you have them enroll as wholesale customers and have too many on your front line than enroll as wellness advocates, because then you can always change them to move. Now, they don't only move. I wouldn't put them here. Roger did say, hopefully you could hear, I'll just reiterate just in case. He said you might put it here if you're always short on power of 3. And if I'm always short on power of 3, I might actually put 2 of them here. So let's say, oh, I already put 1, 2. So I put number 3. So now they're taken. What if I'm always short on my power of 3 and that's not quite enough? I might do it again. But I'll just tell you right now, if you are short on your power of 3, it's because you did not pick the right people for your front line. Now, don't worry. I know some of you, I promise. I mean, we're having fun and stuff, but some of you are going to get to a place in talking about all this where I'm going, don't do this. You should never do this. And if you're having this problem, it's because you already did that. Okay, realize that I get that. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. Sorry if it makes you feel bad. And I promise I'll show you how to fix it. But I get passionate because I've been there. But I want you to know, don't do it again. Don't do it again. And if you don't do it again, guess what happens? All of a sudden, you start seeing it resolve itself. As I started obeying all the right rules, even though mine was a mess, what happened is little by little, I had less and less of a mess. Yes, I had a couple of leaders who were down lower who now are still down lower, and that's okay. I'm brand new, so I have 1 builder and 4 wholesale customers. Do I move just 1 wholesale customer under my builder and keep the rest on the front line until I get another builder? Absolutely. All of them go under that builder because, let me show you what happens. Oh, shoot. I was going to tell you how you keep building. I'll answer that question, then I'll show you how you keep building up to 14. Okay. She says, help me remember the question, Roger. She says, I have 1 CC, or did you say builder? I can't remember, darn, and now I can't see it. I'll just say builder because I can't remember what you said. So you have a builder and you have 4 wholesale customers. Where do you put them? Well, you only want 1 on each front line, but 1 goes here. We'll call that number 1. You might put 1 here because you don't want to put too many on the front. Oh, sorry, yeah, you can't put them under each other. You've got wholesale. Yes, yes, yes. Your only choice is you can give them to me, which you don't want to do, or you've got to go like this. Yep, because they're all wholesale customers and you can't put anybody underneath each other. Now, this is what happens if you haven't had the right conversations with these people. But if you've had the right conversations, this will change. And I'll tell you what, out of any class, I'm trying to think if I'm being honest with you. I will find builders. I will find builders or sharers, at least sharers, more than one. So, and I get that I've had more experience, but I really have worked hard to create these trainings that show you how to do it. One of the most powerful ways you can do it is what I call my 3 pathways. You guys, if you learn how to do the 3 pathways, and that video is already out, then you will start finding people who say they want to build. When you do the 3 pathways, by the time you're done, they pick pathway number 1, 2, or 3. Number 3 is a serious builder, like a committed, capable type of person. Now, they could say they want to do 3 and they're not really capable or whatever. So you have to figure that out. But most people who I talk to pick number 2, which is a builder. Maybe not someone who wants to build as fast. And honestly, it's usually they're picking number 2 because I can tell they're worried if they can put in that much. And that feels a little less scary. Most people want to do number 3. It is crazy. You guys, if you learn how to do that right, if you learn how to prep it right so that you can go talk to them, because you don't just go, hey, I'm gonna come do the 3 pathways with you. Or hey, or if you're interested in building, I teach you in that video exactly how to talk to them and help get to a place where you can go do the 3 pathways. You never tell them it's called the 3 pathways. To them, it's just a little conversation that you're having with a few questions, okay? Now, you will find builders, but yes, now you put them here and you're waiting. Now, let me talk about something while we're here. Let's see if I have some questions I can answer too. If I only have customers and no builder. So if you've got no builder, let's do that. And we'll go back to that scenario where we have all customers. Okay, we had this. We said we picked, why did we pick number 5 to be on the front line?
Saying wholesale customers. They've only ever known wholesale.
Or do you mean wholesale customers? What if I only have customers and no builders? If you only have wholesale customers, then they have to go here. You have nowhere else to put them. Okay? And you should start, now I'll give you another clue. So this would be a wholesale customer, wholesale customer, wholesale customer, wholesale customer. But I will tell you this, if you have to do this and put a bunch of wholesale customers, it is way better if you're doing it down lower, because what percentage are you getting paid on this? 2%. What if all those wholesale customers were on your, if you had somebody here and somebody here, what if they were down here? Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4. Did we decide the 4th or the 3rd level? It was the 4th level that's the best. You should never need to do this below your 4th level, okay? And I can show you why, but we'll do that later, I think, yeah. So, because I just want to show you this.
But the point is, if you're getting 5 wholesale customers across your front line, you probably need to step back and do some training on, like she said, the 3 placements or 3 pathways, or do some training on how to be better at effectively inviting people to class and getting people experiences with the oils before you get them to classes.
Yeah.
And having those conversations ahead of time, or maybe learning to do wellness consults with people better, something like that, rather than having more classes and just signing up a bunch of people on your front line. So
if you have only wholesale customers, you don't have a choice, all right? So that one is pretty basic. But if you, let's go back to this, and I'll kind of keep going from there, because we had C5 was here because it was a wellness advocate, right? Yep. What did we do? We had
4 was under.
We had C4 and we had C6. Now, this one was the extra person that we're not going to count. If we have more people to place, we've got to put them somewhere. But because this person seemed like there was a higher possibility of them building and they seemed more interested in that, that's all I can go on. So now I've got these guys placed. I've got to place these. Let's assume I don't need help with my power of 3, so I'm not placing them up there. Then what's going to happen is I'm going to put 1 customer here, WC1. I don't want to put anybody here because if I start putting people here, guess what happens? Now I've got to start building 2 legs to make sure all that volume counts for me. As soon as I have 1, I want everything underneath there, because now the volume will count toward that leg. So like I was just showing you this to show you that you could put it on the front line, but the reality is I want all the volume to count for this person, because it will all count up through elite, right? It's all going to count up through elite. And so what's going to happen is I'll probably put that other person here. the second best person, and I don't mean second best like they're not of value. I'm talking about likelihood of building the business. So the person who was second best was C.
You can't put them under a wholesale customer.
This was not supposed to. Oh yeah, I was thinking this was this one. Sorry, I got messed up. Okay, so here's your C6. I put the wholesale customer here. Now I'm going to put my
C4.
second best. Oh, we already placed this one. Why am I doing
C4.
that? C4. Okay, I've got my C4 here. Wellness advocate. Oops. Wellness advocate. Okay, so now this is correct. Okay, now we've got these. Actually, no, that's not correct. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Now we've got these two left. We can't put them here because that's a wholesale customer. So what we're going to do is, because this is my builder, we want to make sure everything is below that. Well, it's not really my builder, but it's the best I had. We're going to keep everything under there. So because we don't want to put 2 underneath one person, I'll put maybe 1. Well, this one's already got an extra one, right? So I don't want to do another one there if I can help it. If I have to, I have to. But I have 2 other options. I can put 1 here. So this is WC number 2. And I can put 1 here. They don't have 1. So I'm looking to see, okay, where do they have 1? Who has 1? WC number 3. That's what we're going to do. Now, let's get rid of these. And let's say that we have another class. And nobody watched my training, like I said. So nobody knows how to get a builder. So this is what's going to happen. You're going to get another wholesale customer. What are we at? 7. Wholesale customer number 8. We're going to have a sharer this time. Wow, it was awesome. We got a sharer. That's number 9. And we got a customer who's a wellness advocate. And we got, you guys, if you even know how to talk to them a little bit, if you even just do the class the way I teach you and teach you how to talk about how to close it so that they know about the business opportunity, you'll have at least a sharer or 2. I'm going to make it hard just because I know some of you are dealing with really hard stuff. And maybe you haven't learned that yet. And I'm not saying that you're bad, you guys. This is what all of us dealt with at the beginning. I am just trying to make you feel like so fed up with that you go, okay, I've had it. I am going to go watch her training and learn how to do that. So let's say, Roger, what's realistic?
I think at a class, 4 people signing up is really amazing. So
yeah, that would be amazing. Okay, let's say you've had a couple more classes, because I'll tell you what really happens. You have, what time is it? 10:40. Okay. Wait, does that mean we're, oh, yikes. Okay, I'll just go about 5 more minutes, you guys, and then we'll stop for this time. And next time, the second half, what we're going to do is we'll go over what to do if you started with a mess on your team. So I'll go through stuff at the beginning like I did this time. Then we'll go through if you have a mess and what to do at that point. Okay, so now you've got a sharer. Do you put sharer on your front line? No. Are they a CC? No. A lot of people go, oh, this one's better than this one, so I'm going to put it here. No, you are sucking your time frame the second you do that. Don't do that. Okay, so the sharer, well, because you've already got this going on, you don't have the best options. You might decide to put this here. You don't want another one on their top line, but you also don't want to go bam, 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 bam. Going down in a single row is worse than putting another person on their front line who might not be a builder. Now, again, now the sharer, if they said they want to start doing classes in sharing, let's say sharer number 9, okay, then yes, they might say, okay, I will count that as my leg. As we go forward, we'll see. We'll see if they build like they said they were going to do. If they do, then we can keep going. But now we've got this one placed. We've got a wellness advocate who we can place underneath. And so what we're going to do is we don't want to put another wellness advocate under there. So we can put this one here. So see, it truly is almost like checkers or chess or something. So you've got your wellness advocate. This is number 10. Okay. So number 10 is right here. Now we've got to place these 2. These 2 were the least likely seeming to want to build or do anything, but this one seemed a little more like they wanted to. Then what's going to happen, let me read your stuff. My qualifier, which would help the person further upline. Okay, let me read out loud, sorry. I have an instance where my qualifier is deeper. I'm thinking to place my enrollments for that leg only under my qualifier. Yes, which would help the person further upline only with their lower leg. Yes, if these are not my qualifying legs and this turns out to be my qualifying leg, if you have new enrollments, you don't be putting them under where it's not your qualifying legs, because where is 80% of your time? It should be spent on your qualifiers. So if this is your qualifier, everything else needs to go under there until you find a committed capable. Then you can have another one and start doing both lanes. And now, what the reality is, if you're having a class every week, you start having people like this. Even if they're not builders or whatever, it starts looking like this, and you're placing as carefully as you can based on what you have. And then pretty soon, guess what? How many places do I have to put customers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see, 6. Oh, wait. Is that a...
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, yeah, they're a wellness advocate. Yeah. See what I'm saying? As soon as your team starts to grow, pretty soon, it's not that hard to find places to put the customers. But you will have way higher percentage of the people who are wanting to build or share.
Let's address the placeholder question, because a lot of people have questions about placeholders, creating a placeholder, and what that's all about.
Oh, okay. I will tell you this. Oh, fine. I will jump ahead. Where's my page on that? I don't want to miss. Oh, there it is. Here, let me give you this. Oops. I need this tape. Okay. I wrote these down so I wouldn't forget, because this is a big one you guys keep asking. Number 1. Well, okay, the placeholders, this is what a placeholder is. And we'll cover more placements next week. Well, I'll talk about placeholders, and I'll give you some very specific information. But before I do that, I have to tell you my exciting announcement, okay? Let me give you my exciting announcement. I was going to do it at the beginning, and I forgot. Some of you, as I've been helping train your teams or do different things, as I work with some of you, and I've even put it out there on social media, that I am coming out with a training that I'm calling Fast Track. And a lot of you who have been watching some of my videos, you know that I had Fast Track, and I was putting those videos out, getting a lot of great feedback on those. But I've told many of you, I am realizing that's not Fast Track. It's almost like this training. You guys are helping me realize how to refine this and do it in the correct order. I'm realizing, oh, we have to talk about this first. So over the years, you guys have helped me. And as I've been creating that over the last year, I realized, oh my gosh, I totally get exactly what the basic Fast Track has to be. Hey, Roger, would you get me a drink of water? I could just have that. And so it is so awesome. I'm excited about it. I told you I'm building to double presidential. It is exactly what I need for my leaders. And at first I was just creating it for my leaders, putting it on a kind of a private website. And then I thought, duh, if I want it, maybe other people want it. So I've told some of you that I am going to be putting it on YouTube. You guys, I'm just finishing up the last videos now. Those 5 skills that we talked about, the recruiting, teaching the class, all those 5, every single one of those is covered. And guess what I'm doing? I am so excited about this. I'm doing this because of the feedback I get from you. Like, for example, if I'm teaching you how to close a class, oh my goodness, you guys, I just finished the how to close, the new updated how to close, and I'm telling you, it took me forever. And I've done it a million times. I was trying to figure out why it took me forever. The tweaks and the little changes I have made are gonna be they're gonna kill it, you guys. It's awesome. It's even better than it was before. And I'll tell you this, if you use the trainings I showed you, you're gonna find builders, your people will buy more at your class. They will sign up for, more people will sign up for LRP the night of the class. It's awesome. And it's the key things that you need. But this is what I do. You know, when I teach my how to close a class, I teach you all the details. I teach you hows, whys, all that stuff. So what I'm doing for almost every video that this is relevant, I need to drink my, yeah, this is from when I was in the hospital. The hows, the whys, all that stuff. What I've done, so for example, for my how to close, I have one video that is how to close a class, and it is detailed. I tell you how to say it. I say inflections in your voice. I tell you all that stuff, okay? And then I've created a second how to close a class video that I take out most of the extra stuff, the things that explain why we say that or how the class is going to react to that or all that kind of stuff. I take all of that out and just leave some of the basic stuff that you need, information to help you know what to do next. And those videos are at least half the length of the full detailed version. So I have a detailed version, I have the basic version, and then I'm creating a third version for you that is just me modeling the actual how to close, like closing of the class. I don't give you any commentary. I don't tell you any explanation, nothing. I just go through it because so many people tell me, oh my goodness, it changed my team. I've been using it and I make all my leaders watch it or whatever. And so I hear over and over, they laugh and they say, oh my goodness, I turn it on and I listen to it over and over and over so I can learn it and get it in my head. Well, then you're having to listen to all the commentary in between. Wouldn't hurt to listen to it a few times so you really understand. But then when you're just trying to learn it, I have the videos so that it's just the modeling so that you can hear it. And that way, if you need to listen to it over and over again, oh my goodness, then you can just do that. You guys are going to get sick of my voice. So, but I'm very excited. If it's going to help you, then I'm happy about that. But the other thing I'm super excited, so all those are almost ready. My deadline was yesterday and I didn't quite need it. Last night I was crying to Roger. I said, Roger, I was supposed to be done today. But I'm almost done. It's super close. Finished most of the videos and finishing the last little bits. So we'll start posting those on YouTube. So if you want to, go subscribe to my channel and then you'll be notified when those are, when those are up. Probably one will come up every week and it will come with whatever videos that go with it. So if I put the how to close a class, all 3 of those videos will just go up. So you have access to those. I leave you links to the things that you need, but on YouTube, it's not as easy to find. So I have been getting a ton of requests for something. By the way, my YouTube channel is just my name, Teresa Harding, okay? I have been getting a ton of requests for this, and I wasn't going to do it because I always give you my trainings for free. You guys, those trainings will always be available for free, okay? Always. But this is what I've done, and I'm realizing, oh my gosh, I think people are gonna want this because I would want it. I would want this. What I've done is I've created a website because people are saying, can you put it in a way that is more organized? Can you write a book? Can you put it in a way that I'll buy it? You know, that kind of stuff. So what I'm doing, again, always free on YouTube. All those videos will always be there, and these will be the same videos. But on the website, what's going to happen is you will have to pay for it. We haven't figured out how much that cost is going to be because we have to have it maintained and all that stuff. So we'll figure that out. I'll try to keep it as inexpensive as I can, especially for doTERRA people. But I'm getting so many requests for this stuff that I'm actually going to be putting some of my trainings out. I'm going to change the doTERRA wording, make it generic network marketing, and put it out there. And for generic network marketing people, they're going to pay normal price. doTERRA, you guys get special privileges because obviously everything that you do. But what's going to happen is on that website, not only is it is so user friendly, it's in total order of exactly how to do the fast track. But not only that, on the website that you have to pay for, I am going to give you every single video, but then you also will get a free transcript of every word for word, exactly what I said in the video. So for example, if it's how to close a class, you now have the text that is exactly what I said in the video, and you'll get a script that goes with it. Now the scripts, I will put those on. You'll get the script free, but not the transcript. You'll get the transcript so you have it written, you can carry it with you, you can use it for trainings with your teams, and we will have every single video turned in to an audio, like a podcast for you, so that you can just push play and listen. You don't have to see it, you don't have to get to YouTube, you don't have to, whatever. So I'm making that available to you guys. It will be my fast track training, so you guys can be watching for that. But what I love is that if you don't want to pay for it, great. I'm offering it to you for free, but I know a lot of people are going to want that. And also if you're a member on that site, there are other privileges you'll get because you'll get to do some things with me that I do with my time, like trainings like this. So anyway, so there's that. Let me tell you about ghosts. Thank you for putting that up, Roger. Okay, I'll just spend 5 more minutes. And of course, those of you who stayed up late, watch it later if you have to. This is what's going to happen. People say, oh, you should just use a placeholder. Let me tell you what a placeholder means. A placeholder is someone who, let's say, here's Teresa, and I have a place, if I have only wholesale customers, wholesale customer, I don't have anybody, or I might even have a sharer and a wellness advocate, but that doesn't want to build. This is my lineup. This is what I have, and I have to place them. What some people say is, place a fake person right there, and then you can place everybody underneath here until you find a CC, a committed, capable person. Then you can transfer that person out and put the CC in, okay? Well, let me tell you, there are about 6 cons and 1 pro, okay? Let me tell you what the cons are. Number 1, it is illegal for you to have any ownership, any interest, any benefits in the spot. So what a lot of people do, and this is illegal, do not do it. There is a way you can do it, and I'll show you, and there's one situation where it would work okay, and I'm not against it, but I'm just telling you, if you're going to do it, you do it legally. a lot of people say, oh, I'll just put my grandma in there because she doesn't care. If I build this team, I'm putting people under here. So all these people go underneath my ghost. We'll put G for ghost. All these people go underneath here. And my grandma will be the one that signs up because you can't have some fake account. It has to be a real person. So I'll put my grandma here. This is grandma. And she's 80. She doesn't want to build. She doesn't care. Okay? Let me show you what happens. Number one, are you going to give the paycheck to grandma? If you're building it, what a lot of people try to do, they sign up grandma. They say, grandma, would you just be a placeholder for me? I need until I can find a builder. Grandma says, yeah, she does. She gives her information. You're building this team. Who gets the check? You. That's illegal. Don't do that. Now, if you give the check to grandma, because she should get it, you cannot keep that money at all. Then grandma can legally sell her position later. But guess what happens? Grandma starts getting that check. Now, you might say, no, my grandma, she will give it to me when I'm ready. Do you know how many times this person is getting the check and then will not sign it over? Because now they're making money. You guys, the highest percentage. It's not like, 20% of the time. You guys, most of the time, this person won't sign it over. Now you're dealing with relationship issues, okay? That's one issue. Second thing, let's see. When it's time to put the new person into your placeholder position, let's say now grandma's done, you found a CC, and you are ready to put them in. Now what happens? Now you've got forms to fill out. Grandma's got to fill out forms. Now, this is the other thing that happens. Grandma, and I've seen this happen, you guys. I'm telling you, this is one of the reasons you do not want to use this, even if you do it legally. But again, I'll show you the whole story. So grandma is done. She doesn't care. But now little nephew comes in and starts noticing what the grandma's getting this check. Or son comes in and notices grandma's getting this check. And son says, grandma, you are not giving that back to her. She's trying to take advantage of you. You guys, I've seen this over and over. You're thinking, oh, that wouldn't happen in mine. I'm telling you, all the people who said that won't happen, it happened. Not all, but a lot of them, it happens. Okay?
And it usually happens because it's such a long time that they have a placeholder or a ghost person in that position.
Right. Usually people are getting a placeholder. It takes them a while to find someone. And whether or not, sometimes people do this because they're starting their team and they don't have anybody to put on the front line. Sometimes it's somebody, I have people who have huge teams, they're diamond or blue diamond, and somebody, let's say this is my leader. I want to make up a fake one. That's horrible. I was going to say Carl. Let's say Carl with a K. This is Carl, and guess what happens? Carl has all these leaders. He's blue diamond. This leader all of a sudden stops building, but he has a big leg. He was platinum. He was totally platinum, and he stops building. Are you going to just give up that whole leg? No. They say, hey, let's buy this spot. This person is Bob. Let's buy the spot from Bob, get Bob out of there. We'll put a placeholder, a ghost person in here, a fake, we'll say, grandma, can you, buy this spot for a second? I'll pay for it. You buy it. Guess what? As soon as you pay for it, whose is it? Yours. I guess you could write up a legal document that says, I'm paying for it for my grandma and I'm giving it to her. You know what I mean? But you see how fishy this gets. It gets very fishy. They don't love it at doTERRA. If you really do it legal, it's okay. You can do it. But so sometimes they do that. And then they're looking for, this is a huge team over here. It's platinum. And it's hard to find somebody who you want to put in that spot. You're like, it's got to be somebody good. And now the problem is the new person that you're bringing in, Bob's going out. Who do these people love on this team? Bob. They love Bob. What if Stacy comes in? Stacy comes in, and now she's the leader of this team. Nobody knows Stacy. Who do they know? Me or Carl? They know Carl. Who has to do all the work? Carl. Do you get? There are a lot of issues here. So don't just think, oh, I'm just saving a spot. Okay, let me see. The other thing, let me get rid of this, getting too messy. What if I have a placeholder? Carl has a placeholder here. This is my ghost. Now, what happens? I'm putting all these people underneath. What am I doing now for this ghost spot? I'm building for the ghost. And whoever comes in here, I built for someone. Now, if you've already done this and you're putting all this under here, there's a 90% chance that you're going to bring someone in and you're going to end up still doing a lot of the work because you haven't learned to make the right choices to do this in a way that's going to be the most, maximize it for you and your leaders. So all of a sudden you're building someone else's team. What if this is a ghost spot for 2 months, 3 months, 5 months? Now you're building a whole extra leg that is not, you should not be building, and you're doing it because you have a ghost, okay? And that's one of the biggest mistakes people make, is building for someone else. That's what you're doing. And even though it's a ghost, you're building for someone else, okay? You're sucking your time freedom. Let's see. The last thing I want to show you is this. This is where you would do this, and you can do this. Realize that if you have a spot that you need to fill with that you think, oh, I could use a placeholder that might be perfect for this situation, it's because you don't have a builder. Are you actually doing the actions that will get you a builder? Truly. Because in my how to sample effectively, how to invite, how to teach, how to close, if you do those 4 videos and do what I teach you to do, you will find builders. I promise. I promise you'll find a builder. Now, what happens is you can do this if you do it legally and you realize I have the consequences that, I'm having John hold this spot for me. He's my brother and he has a business, he's a lawyer. He doesn't want to do this, but he's letting me use his information. And the check goes to John. And let's say you don't have a problem when it's time and you put somebody in here. If you do this and you do it legally, then this is a temporary fix, you guys. This should be a ghost for less than a month. Less than a month. And it will, I'll tell you what, if it's longer than a month, it's because you're not doing those action items, creating those skills to make sure that you find a builder. And if you're not willing to do that, why on earth would you create a ghost? So,
okay, I'm going to interject, and I'm going to say, I'll give you 2 months, okay? Teresa says 1 month, I'll give you 2 months, because it is work to find a builder, and it takes some effort to do that. So that's my interjection.
He's saying that. I'm not going to let you do that.
Okay.
Okay? I have messed up on placements way longer than you have. I know way more mistakes. I get what he's doing, and he's having compassion, and that's nice. And Roger has more compassion than I do. But that's because I've been there. And I promise you, if you think I've got 2 months, you will let it drag out. I've seen it 100 times.
Don't let it drag out.
Don't let it drag out. And I will tell you, I've had conversations with some of my biggest leaders. One who just hit Presidential Diamond a couple days ago. We were talking about this, and she absolutely agrees with me. You do not use placeholders, but she has used them, and she does use them. It is less than a month. She uses them in that situation, less than a month, and you find a builder to put in that spot. Now, don't find a builder that you're just ramming in there. Teresa said I have to do a month, so this is not very good, but I'm going to throw it in there. Okay, be doing all the action items to find your builder. You'll find a builder. If you happen to take a little bit longer, but you're really, truly doing those action items, then you get that builder in there as soon as you can. And there's the last thing I'm going to end with, and then I will let you guys go. Probably half of you are gone already and need to go to bed. There was something important about this. I can't remember. I'll remember and I'll bring it up at the beginning next time. So you guys, those of you who stayed to the end, oh my goodness, I'm telling you, I still think those of you who are far and wide who have to stay up late, you guys deserve a prize. Thank you, thank you. So this live was an hour, and this was the second version. So we'll try to work on the tech stuff, figure out a different or better way to do this if we can. It's looking like maybe the Facebook Live is going to be the best if we turn off all the internet in the house and do it this way. Darn, I can't see that last. There's somebody had a question. We go through the questions every time so that we try to answer them. I'll try to answer them at the beginning of next one. All right. You guys, love you guys. You guys are the best. Thanks for all your support. Thanks for sticking in there when we're keep dealing with all the tech stuff. Try to see if there are any last final questions. Can't wait to do those trainings. Thanks, you guys. You're the best. Thank you, Roger. You're the best. And so watch your emails and watch the Facebook group for announcements about how we'll be doing it next week, just because we got to figure out this problem. Okay, have a great night. Love you guys. Bye.